Hello, this is VF Cookie66, and I've decided to start a tutorial series for modding Minecraft, and I'm going to call it something like the way I do modding. And in this tutorial, this is for before I start, this is how I've done stuff in my mod Kingdom Keys. If you haven't seen that, I will post a link in the description to the Minecraft forums, which has the topic. So in this tutorial, before we get to the actual coding, I am going to show you how I do the Keyblade models. So when you open Techne, and that's what I'm using, I'll put a link for that. It comes up with this. I mean, you can not, but it's probably best to. And you can do a model name. So let's say I'm doing the Kingdom Key. I'd call it Kingdom Key. And yeah, basically you pretty much want to always use model base. And the texture width, I normally just keep it like that. So you have this texture map here. It's blank because we had nothing. I'm going to make that a little bit bigger so you can see it. I mean, it does make this area smaller, but it's still quite big because my resolution is quite high. So, if you want to make a model, let's say you want to, I don't know, make a cube. I'm just going to make some sort of thing. So you want to click on cube. There's also the cube button down here. But that'll make a cube. And there is actually a mode if you, in this thing, oh maybe I can't do it. When you start it, you can use turbo model thingy, but I'm not sure how you do texture maps to that. If anyone knows how to texture map for the spheres and cones and all that, please tell me, because I would love to be able to use those, but I can't because I don't have to texture them. So you'll see up here, there's now this texture map thing here. So you want to move around stuff. You can change the dimensions, you can rotate it. So I'll make it a bit bigger. And you can move it. You can do a bunch of stuff. Now, the offset, I don't really see the point in doing that unless I don't know. You can just move it, so I don't see why you'd want to use offset. Anyway, so you can also rotate using these, but it's probably better to use the precise ones. You can also mirror texture. That's not, it's quite useful. Anyway, so there's GI scale, which you can make it bigger and smaller. If you're actually going to render it in game, which I'll show you how I do that, you can just keep it as 1 because you can change the size in the code. But what you want to do then, once you've got this cube, to texture it, you want to go, you see up here, I've got this thing, let's say you've got 2 things. Now, their texture, as you can see up there, they're overlapping. Now, you don't want that to happen, so what you can do, you can use the texture offset, and then when it's in the right place, so I'll have a gap between, that is the texture map. You make sure, when you're doing it, none of them overlap. So, after you've got that, this is my terrible model. Now, if you look at these, they've got blue, red, and green. And the blue are these sides, the big sides, as I don't know why, but if you look down there, that is what blue should be, but whatever. And red is these bits here, and then green, the greens are here and here, oh, there, and there, and I think the light blue is this side, and the dark blue is that side, and then the light red is that side, I think, and then the dark red is that side, and then I think that's the light green, and then dark green there. I'm not entirely sure, I normally just experiment. So once you've got that, you want to go to export as texture map first of all, and then I'm just gonna call this, I won't call it actually, let's put it just in my documents, and I'll call it just test. And once you got that, I want to go in what I use, paint.net. It's very good picture editing tool. I prefer it for doing like small, like pixelated stuff, but I use Photoshop for everything else. So once you got that, I want to find my, I can just type it in, can't I? Test, open, and here it is. So you can see we've got these exact things. So if I make this yellow, in fact, let's see, I can just leave it like this first of all, and I can go load texture and then test, and look, it has, so that's dark blue, that's light blue, that's dark red, and that's light red, that's dark green, and light green. So I got it the other way around. So yeah, that's a good way of visualizing which ones you need to color. So let's say I want this side to be yellow. I'm going to go and change that to yellow, and now look, it is. Now right now, basically, if I had let's say 1x1 cube like that, you can see because the texture map's overlaying, it's kind of using the yellow, but each one dimension, so when I increase that by 2, that's 2 pixels, so each one is a pixel. And that means you can't really have very detailed things. But a way to get around this is if you just go, oh no, image resize, and then let's say I want to make it so it's 4 pixels per one face on the cube. I can make it 512, and I'll do maintain aspect ratio, so 512 by 256. So if I do that, it's, oh, I didn't want to do that, did I? Yeah, make sure if you have it on nearest neighbour so it doesn't go all blurry. So 512, and now this is quite big, and then I'll save it, and then it's gonna say, please confirm the resolution of the image you selected differs from your project settings. Do you want to update the settings to match the resolution? If you say yes, it will make the texture map size the same as the texture, and that'll be tiny. Sorry, no, the texture will be huge, but the actual texture map will have to be small, like this size still. So what you want to do is say no. Make sure you do that every time. So now it still thinks it's a 64 by 32, and now I can do something like this. So if we go, I'm going to draw a smiley face. It's a very badly done one, but you can see it's that's actually going to appear. Look, there's a smiley face. And you definitely wouldn't be able to do that with the high-res ones. So that's quite useful. And you can also rename your shapes. Make sure if you copy and paste them, you see it's the same name. When you export that as a Java thing, file, it will get errors because they're both called shape 2. So make sure you rename it to like shape 3 or whatever it is. So I think that's everything. It's quite a short tutorial, 10 minutes almost, and I hope that helped some people. So I didn't cover everything in this program, but I covered everything I do, and if they don't look that like blocky, it's because I use a lot of rotations and make it quite curved on my Keyblades and stuff like that. Why it takes a long time to make them. I spend like 3 hours on the models sometimes, because the texturing and everything takes ages. So this has been my first tutorial in how I do modding. Hope you enjoyed, and goodbye.